Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at the Hubsan H107D first-person view quadcopter. You always hear it on the news and on TV, all about the drones. It's all about the drones. Well, you could have your own little drone. It's a quadcopter with a camera in it. And what's really cool about this one is that it transmits the picture live to the screen on the controller, which makes this an FPV, which stands for First Person View. So for those of you who have ambitions of flying the bigger quadcopters where you could watch the screen and drive it around, well, before you run out and get the $1,000 or $2,000 unit, you get this one for about $160, and you practice with something that is pretty durable. I mean, I've rammed this into the ground and into walls and hit the ceiling with it, and it's still going strong. But this is the one that would be a good training tool. So here's the H107D. I already put the prop protector on this, which is very important if you're just starting to get into flying any kind of remote control kind of thing. If there are training wheels such as this, you want to put it on because you will absolutely destroy props if you don't. Luckily, this unit did come with spare props. It also came with a little metal tool that you sort of put under the prop and pry them off so you don't have to try to just yank them off. And you do have to pull all these props off in order to put this guard on, which fits on top of the motors, basically between the motors and the props there. You can see right there. So you have to pry all the props off, you put this on, and then you put all the props back. One thing to note, the props have to go in a certain place. There are props labeled A. Let me let that go ahead and sharpen up for you. There are props labeled A and there are props that are labeled B, and it matters which one. So right now this is pointing forward, A, B, A, B. So you don't have to look it up in the instruction book, but I really urge you to read the instruction book and any other material that came with this quadcopter, because there's some really important things. I don't want to make this into a very long training video. So besides the extra props and the pry tool, you also get a charging cable. Not a charger, just a charging cable. So what happens is you plug this into any type of USB charger device, and then you plug this part into the battery. So we have two wires that are sticking out the back here. You have one that goes to the battery, which is removable. You just yank it out. If I were to pull it out, the battery would look just like this. I bought an extra one. And all you're doing is basically fitting it together just like that. And then what will happen is this part that's plugged into the USB charger will turn red when the light goes out that's in here. That means that it's all charged up, ready to go. We are going to be flying in this video, by the way. So here's the controller. The controller has a lot of fingerprints because I've already been playing with this toy. But without going into a lot of training and everything, the unit does have an expert mode, but it comes default in a regular mode, and it also comes in a mode B for those of you who understand all that lingo. Now this is your basically elevation. It makes the unit go up, makes the unit go down, and this makes the unit, the quadcopter, turn, basically yaw. And then this will sort of make it translate left and right and pitch forward and backward. So pitch left, right, forward, backward. It's a lot of different movements, and it takes a lot of hand-eye coordination to get this down. So this is a good unit to learn that and practice with. You have trim controls right here, so you can sort of fine-tune to get everything nice and steady. This thing was pretty steady out of the box, very impressive. Now I'm going to show you how to turn this on really quick. What you want to do is go ahead and turn your, make sure that your elevation is all the way down, just like that. You just turn it on, and your screen will come on, and it eventually ask you to bind with the plane. So you bind to plane. They're talking about your quadcopter. So we'll go ahead and attach the two cables that stick out the back, and now it's binded. So right away you can see video is transmitted right to the controller. So you can see, I'll let you see me right here with my camera. Hello. So pretty neat. And we'll go ahead and just again, I'm going to show you the throttle. You can see how just picking that up a little bit. Let me see if I could actually get this off the ground just a teeny bit in front of the camera here without wrecking it. It's really hard to do. You really need a little more space than this. There we go. So again, that's all the controls in a nutshell. So on the controller itself, there's a lot of neat things. You have your battery indicator. This battery indicator are the 4 AA's that doesn't come with this unit that you put in here. One thing to note, this thing will eat up batteries. The controller will eat up batteries like no tomorrow because it's controlling this using 2.4 gigahertz, and the video is getting transmitted to this via 5 gigahertz or 5.8. So that's a lot of things going on, and it's controlling it and getting video, and it's even you can record video on a little micro SD card. You just hit this button and it starts recording, and you hit it again and it stops recording. I'll show you what that looks like. Hit that button, it starts recording. Hit the button again, it stops recording. You could also go into a settings mode. You could you press this down really quick, it puts it into an expert mode, which I'm not going to go into. Press it again, normal mode. If you press and hold it, you can get into the menu system here and run through all kinds of neat stuff, including formatting that card that you put in there. Okay, and you can see what your controls are doing on these little green indicators on the side, so you can see right there how that's all working. Pretty neat. Now this right here is the battery indicator for the amount of juice that's in the battery that's in your quadcopter. So it takes about an hour to charge up the battery in the quadcopter using that USB cable I just showed you, and you'll get about 5-6 minutes of good flight time out of it. It's a pretty long time for something that's doing so much, and it does have a little bit of weight to it, and it feels pretty solid. I mean, it really feels like it's made nice and solid. You have little rubber feet here on the bottom, lots of lights. Here's your antenna. Again, this is the cable and connector to attach the battery. Lots of pretty lights. You can turn those lights out if you want. And there is the camera business of this quadcopter. So let's go ahead and fly this a little bit. you can see how steady this is. I can keep it in the view. Really neat. Again, you can yaw back and forth, whoop, go up and down, and you can see right now the lights are blinking. I'll bring it in real close. That means the battery in the quadcopter is about to die, so you better land it. Did I mention the price tag yet? I paid $160. I'll go ahead and put a link below to Amazon. They do have this is not HD for those of you wondering, and ooh, it actually does get a little bit warm there. It's sort of a 640 by 480 format is what it records onto that SD card. Which, by the way, if you're recording, make sure you hit the button again to turn it off before you turn the unit off, or you'll corrupt the card. Just a note if you read the instructions. But the resolution also is recorded, and I'll tell you what, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and go over the pros and the cons. Pros is this is fun. This is like the most fun you could get in a package this small. A lot of capability, a lot of fun. It's durable. It's been hit the ceiling, the floor, into things. If you have the guard on there, really good, solid unit. You could buy a lot of accessories, replacement parts if you are breaking it, if you're using it as a learning or training device, or if you're just a kid and, you know, just rough on your toys. As far as the cons are concerned, there are some cons or bad things about this unit to consider. The price, $160, is a lot for something this small that you could easily destroy. You could be flying it and then your dog decides, hey, that's a fun thing to eat. Gone, $160. Or you just fly it somewhere and it loses power and you lose it. You know, there's so many scenarios to lose something this small. When you record it on the card, when you hit that record button, that controller is recording it in a 640 by 240 format, this squished format, and it won't play. When I tried to open it up on my computer, it wouldn't even open the AVI file. I think it was AVI format, I believe. You have to read the instructions, and it says you have to download software. Excuse me. And that software, you have to convert it. I had to convert it into WMV, was the only format I could convert it to where everything looked okay. And you have to change the format, tell it to stretch it out to 640 by 480. Now that software, they recommend 2 pieces of software. I downloaded the first one, and I know from experience, always choose custom. Like you could do Express, install everything, or hit custom. Always hit custom, by the way, when you download anything off the internet to install. And it tries to install adware, you know, and it wants to change put a bar on your browser and do all these kind of freaking things. So hit custom, make sure you uncheck all the other crap it wants to install, and then go ahead and install the software, which I installed. It's called Free Make Video Converter. That's what I put on here, Free Make Video Converter, which was the first choice in the documentation. Sorry. Oh, another weird thing about this, or a con, is the card. When you take that SD card out and then put it in a little adapter, and I put it into my computer to read it, it says it's full. Even if you record a teeny little video, it always says it's full. It formats it in some really weird way. Not a problem. It's not really full. It's full when your controller tells you it's full. It's not full because your computer says it is. Again, kind of strange. Something you gotta get used to. The only other con is I would have liked it if the camera had a little wider angle lens. I think it makes it a little bit easier to drive just by using the screen, which is the whole FPV thing. First person video, you're driving as if you're a pilot on the thing and you're just sort of driving it around. That's what you're trying to learn with something like this. Or, you know, if you're not using it as a toy, if you're using it as a training tool, that's what you want to do. I think it would have been easier if it had a slightly wider lens. Okay, do I recommend it? Yes, I absolutely recommend it. I've already had hours of fun with this, and I am going to continue to have hours and hours and hopefully days and days and weeks and months of fun with this. And one day when I grow up, maybe I'll get a bigger one if it's something I really want to get into, another expensive hobby. My wife is going to kill me. Shh, don't tell her. But I love this and highly recommend it. Alright, thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber, and especially you, and I hope you have a great evening. Take care. Bye.